transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Hold on here, folks, just a second here. God, these telephones drive me nuts. Now, folks, here is the chart of the crude oil I sent out before this happened to buy it to 382. You see, we went smashing through it and then we popped back above it. So that would now have an $800 profit. Your stop would have been right below here. So that was one, that is working. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's the whole key, to everything that we're, paying attention to here as we watch these things here unfold today. Now, let's take a look at the soybean meal because I like this one the best, and it just didn't work. We were buying it here at 98. We got stopped out at 95. You can see it went quite a bit below that. So we have to stand aside on this. Now, there might be some support in here, but based on this pattern that we had, everything lined up that it should have stopped right here, and it didn't work. So you just move on and go to the next one. That's all you have to do. And nothing more serious than that. Just get out of Dodge and, just try to recoup. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you don't lose. And if you keep track of what you're losing, your winning trades are going to be just fine. Okay, that's mainly what we're paying attention to here this morning. Now, I want to get up here and talk to you a little bit about some of the other things that have been on my mind for quite a while. I made a big prediction here in the stock market, much like, what I was doing back many, many years ago. If you'll remember back here, those of you who've been with me back here since 2009, we had this three drive to a bottom pattern right here with the Bradley market turning. Okay, now what we have going on right now is we have the Bradley model. Where are we at right here? The Bradley model is today, and there it is right now. It means we should be down. Now, these big gyrations, they're not telling you what the amplitude is going to be. It's just going to tell you that it's a key date. It could be a low, it could be a high. But you can see the bearishness goes all the way in to early next year. Okay? Very interesting. Now, many of you follow the work of the great Martin Armstrong, and here was his forecast that he put out several years ago from the Foundation for the Study of Cycles. Look, you see there was the 382 retracement from 2009 right here. You can see the big move here. This is a top into COVID, and he's looking for a low to come down in here sometime in 2028. Now, this is a work of Sam Benner. He was a farmer in Iowa, did a lot of economic cycle work long before anybody was doing it back in the early 1900s. But the work is held up that it does hit. But remember, folks, it's only probabilities because, even guys like Martin Armstrong are wrong sometimes. But I think the most important thing is you can see what's happened to Bitcoin, which could mean risk off, risk on. That I don't really know, but we have to pay attention to these as we're looking at them. Let's go through this again because I think this is important here because here's where we were back in 1987. We made a top here on August the 25th with a thing called harmonic convergence. It was all over the news. It was the end of the Mayan calendar. The end of the world was at sight. We had 5 planets at 0 degrees. We topped on that day, the 25th of August. We came down into the solar eclipse, which was around the 26th. Then we rallied into October the 2nd, which was a Venus Uranus sextile. Folks, a Venus-Uranus sextile occurred on Friday. And not only that, on Friday, the NASA people sent me a little update saying, we hope you enjoyed the last planetary parade you're going to see for the next 6 years because it happened today, and that was on Friday. And I think that's why we're moving down today. Now, this market, you can see, went into here, and we bottomed here right on the 18th, rallied, that was a Friday the 18th. The Dow was down 105 points that day, and the next day you can see what happened. I had puts on that expired on the 16th. I was happy. Had I had November puts, it would have been a lot more, but that's trading. You've got to move on to the next one. But there's a probability of that happening. Now, if we make a new high from here, or, then there's a possibility not be a possibility, be a big, strong indication that this thing is just not working. But right now, it started correctly. We've had a pretty big break into today, and whether it's going to stay down or not, we have to wait and see. But if you look at the valuations that they're talking about on Bloomberg this morning, you can see here that the valuations are as high as 29, 65, 99, and where we are right here. So that's a sign that the market is a bit overbought. Whether that means very much or not, I don't know. We're watching patterns and cycles. That's all I'm trying to do, is to line them up to see if that's what they're going to do, okay? All right, now we're going to be, Shane just told me that on the 20th that was a very important one. On the 20th, we have the equinox is coming up. We also have a Venus sextile Uranus also on that day. Only I believe it's a different one. I'll have to get it from him. What is it's way out? Another 18 days before we get there. So that's what we're paying attention to here this morning. All right, now let's move over here and get some other things out of the way here. The Treasury bonds, want to bring up, you can see here they've been still under some great deal of pressure, which we've been suggesting for quite some time. They've been just dropping and dropping. It's a square. It's a Venus squared Uranus. That's a good one because it's 90 degrees, so that'll be a big one for a potential trading day on the 20th of September. We want to thank our man, Mr. Shane, for that. And these are what the markets are doing. You see, we've had a pretty big sell-off here this morning, folks. And Shane is saying it's even more bearish. I would have to agree with that. These markets have been going down for quite a bit. But what happened was, you can see here's where we were last night. You see, we had all this stuff going on Monday. This was the holiday, okay? On the holiday, all it did was go to right there. And that was nothing more than a 382 off the high. And then we've just been dropping and dropping. Now, we had this big breakdown. Now, we're bouncing off that bottom right here, right now. But the things you want to remember now, this is what we try to teach. Once the market makes a new low, you have to recalculate the 382s. That's just part of the game plan. If you're going to deal with numbers, that's what you have to do. So you go back to the high that was way back here, all right? That was on Friday, and you bring that in and look where it came to, folks. We didn't quite make it. So watch that number here the next today, tomorrow, all the next day, and see where we are. You can see we came down. We made a double bottom here. Now we're bouncing a little bit, and if you look at that bounce, we'll just calculate that for you so you'll be able to see it. Folks, I'm so bearish that you shouldn't even listen to me if you want to know the reason for it. Anyway, there's a little 382, but that's a very, very small one. But these are the things that we're really paying very, very close attention to as we watch these things unfold here today. Okay, now let's look at the Dow Jones, because the Dow's down over 500 points today, but it is trying to bottom. You're going to see it here on this hourly chart. You can see we came down early last night, then we rallied up, and now we're back down into this area. Now let's do the same thing with the Dow Jones like we did with the Nasdaq. Okay, now we had the high up here, which was on the 28th. Okay, then we had this big breakdown. You can see right down here, there's the big break. So you have the rally back this morning. There it was early this morning before the market was moving. Where did it go to? I believe right to the 50%. Let's double check. Oh, right to the 382. Son of a gun. There it is right there. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, this is the wheat market. I've been bullish on wheat since 425 for quite a while. We've got as low as 418. We're back to where we bought it at 425. I still believe that people are still going to eat pizza, pasta, and bread, but I might be wrong. Anyway, my stop is still at 517 now, and it's right here where we bought it at 525. There's nothing else we can do at it. Now, I want to watch to take a look at the soybean oil because I'd been very bullish on that. I haven't looked at it as of today, so let's get up and see. Well, it's still holding that level. There it is right there. Now, we've had this big run here. We backed off. We stopped right at the 382 so far. We have not valid. If we get below that, folks, that means you're going to have an ABCD to the downside. So right now, it has not done any more than just backing and filling at this level right here. Still has a bullish bias because the trend is so strong. The pullback was exactly 382 off of this last major bottom right here. And that's so far that's held up. Now, it's not, it's about $600 away from being stopped out. But we bought that, of course, and we had this nice, made $1,800 very quickly. That was on our live trading session that we had back on the 25th. We're doing one on the, I believe it's going to be the 7th and the 25th. By the way, we have two eclipses, folks. The first eclipse is going to be on September the 7th. It is a complete lunar eclipse, and then we have a partial solar eclipse on the 25th, which is, I believe it's the 25th, on the 20th, which is the autumn equinox. That's really big because that's where all those pyramids down in Chichen Itza, down in Mexico, have all those, things that come out of the sky that make them look like 45-degree angles as they go down the pyramids, and really crazy stuff. But anyway, I've been there to see it, so I can remember it quite vividly. All right, let's move on here. We've talked about the wheat. We've had some questions about the U.S. dollar. I want to bring that up here so we can take a look at that. And should have a little bit of a strength today. Yeah, we're bouncing off that same number. Now, you can see here, they keep saying that the dollar is dead. Folks, it's not dead. We've been here for so long. Look at this. We've been here for almost a month. Well, 2.5 weeks. You can see here we were lower, now we're higher today. That's the fact that it held this level really nicely. If we get below 96.50, then it's good night, Charlie, or whatever you want to call it, because then it's really going to go down. But so far, it held exactly right near these bottoms. That means that the euro or the pound, let's look at the euro, because we talked about that on the show, that we were very close to a big sell in the euro. I don't know that we got there or not, folks, but we'll pull it up here. Here's the euro. We'll get it up here. We're selling off today, but we didn't quite make it. We wanted it to get above this level. We didn't get there. Let me see if I can refresh this for the last couple of days. Yeah, there we go. There was the high on Friday. I thought we would take that out by just a little bit, but we haven't done that. You can see we pulled off, and there we're still backing off here today. So there's strong resistance in the euro, strong positive in the dollar, and that should be because the euro is 53% of the dollar index. That's why it's important to watch it that way. Okay, now let's take a look at several people have asked me about silver because it is in the hands of the Lone Ranger, off to the races again. Now this is silver, folks. Get this up here. We're going to put it up on the daily, and you can see it screaming again today. We made another new high up here at, we hit 41.93. 41.99 was the high today in silver. 40 cents, we're down 35 cents from that level right now, but that is a big move, as you can see here. In fact, I didn't even draw that in. Let's just see if that fits with anything that we're looking at, because I thought that high in gold was going to hold, but that didn't work. So we'll see, there's your A, B, C, D leg right here. And we should have got to 41, what is that number? Let's just look at it right there. Oh, that says 41.26, so we went 70 cents higher than that. That's probably what we did, is we went to the 1.618 expansion of that move. Let's just draw that in and see if that's correct. Oh, really close. That's within a couple of cents of the 1.618 expansion. And we're up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days here in silver and also in gold. So they are overbought a little bit, but that doesn't mean they can't continue to go higher. All right, now let's move this out of the way. We've covered the silver. We've covered the euro. We're going to cover the British pound next. And we've also covered the wheat. Get that out of the way. And now we're going to come up here and bring up the old British pound. And then we'll talk about that. And then we'll move on to the Japanese yen. And then we'll have a couple questions here about a few stocks that we'll handle right here. Now I can see the pound. Oh, shut the front door and raise the rent, folks. Bear with me here. All righty, here's where we are right now in the old pound. Okay, now you see the pound broke the 382. Once that happened, that means that this was a bearish pattern. Once that occurred, once you break that 382, that's why that crude oil was so good. We took it out and then snapped back above it. This one did not. So we took that out, and now we started down. Now, since we're starting down hard, let's see if there was a 382 somewhere this, oh, it's trying to make it now. Let's see if we can get it right here. We're going to see if we get it through. We might have made it. Let's just bring it. There's your high here overnight. And your 382 came right there, folks, right on the money. There's your 382 in the British pound this morning based on that breaking the 382, which was way back into this area right here. Hold on just a minute. I need to take a little bit of water. Okay, and now we had a question about a couple of stocks. Not surprising. And of course, first one of Tesla, we'll get it up and see how it's holding up with the sell-off that we're having in these things. It might only last for a day, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, here's Tesla. Tesla's down. Well, it looks like it's down pretty big. Let's just, let's refresh this to make sure where we are here. There it is. It's down. There was the move Friday. And now you can see we we held pretty good support here today, folks. All right, there's from your low. Went right, in between 618 and 786, so it's holding relatively well. The next one that we've been asked to talk about is Mr. Appel, who's down by the well. Just a second here. And we'll get this up here and see it in just a minute. There it is, right there. And Apple is also down just a little bit, but not too much. Okay, that's what we're looking at here on some of these that we're watching. Folks, I frankly don't know whether this is a big turn in the market. All I can tell you is when I look at all of the astral things that I look at and how they're lining up so perfectly, you have to think about that, because I did this type of trade back in 87, and it was a great trade because it didn't it didn't require much capital back in those days because the option prices were so cheap. Now option prices are higher, so what you have to do is you've got to be able to come in and pretend you don't know what you're doing and risk something where the amount of dollar that you're risking is what counts. Like we lost in the gold. I sold it at 83. I told the folks, I said, don't do this trade. I said, I'm going to do it because I have to do all of them. And so I ended up losing $10 on it. So that's it. I'll wait until gold turns down and I'll sell that first 382 retracement if it ever comes. That's what I'd be watching here in the gold market. Okay, so those are just a few of the things that we're looking at here today. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, folks, I've been asked to take a look at Bitcoin, and this is what it's done since middle of the last month, on 13th of August, you see it made its high. Then it had the big rally here, right at the 382, another rally at the 382, and then over the weekend, another rally at the 382. When you have strong trending markets, 382s work very well, and of course, that's what's happening. Now, if you measure the ABCD on this swing, it takes us down to strong support at 205. The high so far has been 224, so 205 would be down about a 10% retracement from this level. Folks, I've never traded a Bitcoin. I don't plan on it. I don't understand blockchains. I just hear the news and I watch the price. That's all I do. That gets me to the promised land. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, now let's move on here. We want to talk about Goldman Sachs. As you can see here, looking at Goldman Sachs, let's get the long-term weekly up because it made a beautiful pattern right here. Now you see we have backed off today. It's down. That's one of the reasons why the Dow was down so much was Goldman Sachs, and that was a big one. And then Microsoft and JP Morgan, they were all down. And since they're the highest priced on the Dow Jones, that's what pushed them low. But we did have a 3 drive to a top here. I've shown you these 3 drives. I've never seen so many 3 drives all over the world. I mean, they're just everywhere. So, but that's neither here nor there as we're watching these things. Now look at Google, folks. Google had this long-term weekly pattern. It's a big another 3 drive. There's drive 1, there's drive 2, there's drive 3. It measured to 214, and the high on the stock was 213.53, and you can see we're down a couple of bucks today. So there's just so many of them that, I think it means something, but what, I don't really know exactly, but, nobody else does either. We got a nice little rally going here in the S&P here, so let's just took a look at Are you kidding me? Give me a break. All right, here's the E-mini S&P here this morning, and then we've had the big move down. Now, this is just a 4-minute chart, so let's just be realistic and put a 13-minute up here to see what's going on here. Yeah, see, we had our first rally. There's the middle of the night yesterday. You can see the market, our old high right back in here. Okay, we came up to the 382. There was an early 382 early in the morning, and then down we came, and then we had this big move here. Okay, so we have to measure that because that was the biggest rally from that high down to that low. You'll see that it did not make it to the 382. You see it was unable to. Now we've got another lower low, and so we're starting to come back. So what we have to do is we've got to redo that because that's going to tell us where the 382 is going to come into, and that would be right here, up about another 20 points to 64.27. It shouldn't, if it's bearish, it shouldn't get any higher than that. All we're doing now is rallying 30 points off the bottom, and that's what we're paying attention to as we watch these things unfolding here today. I just saw something happen that I didn't think I'd ever see, and that is cattle might even have a down day. Here's, I can't believe this. Hold it. There's where we were here the other day. Now today, this is just today's action. I'm watching it today. This was the open. Okay, we went up, didn't quite make a new high. We completed this ABCD pattern, and now we've done some type of a reversal here. It's actually down a penny and a half on today. Hasn't been down penny and a half for so long. I can't even, well, we had this little sell-off, but that was really nothing much. That's the one on Friday, folks. We had the perfect ABCD down there. You'll notice right on the money. And then you can see what we're doing here right now with the cattle. So we're going to find out whether it has anything or not under its belt, but that's what we're watching here so far this morning. Now let's take a look at the Nasdaq. I just noticed my alert popped up just a second ago because I think we're having a pretty good bounce in the Nasdaq. Here's the, there we are. Let's move it over a little bit. We're going to do the whole thing, okay, just like we're supposed to. We're going to come down here and go over just a little. Well, we got to go to an hourly to get all that in, so let's just do that. Okay, there's the old high right back here. There's where you can see we came all the way down here. There was a high we made here on the Thursday, folks, okay? All right, now we've come down, all right, and now we got to this level right here. Now we had a bounce right here early in the morning. That's important because you have to go from your high. Well, I think it's important. High to your low. You did not make a 382 retracement here. You see it stopped. We made a double bottom here, so that 382 is going to be interesting here. That's at 23321. If we get above that and close above that, maybe this was a great buying opportunity. I mean, there's a possibility of it, of course. Now, remember, we were watching these ABCD patterns back on that Thursday. We did it in the Dow Jones, we did it in the Russell, we did it in the Nasdaq, we did it all of them. They were all making some type of a nice little pattern up in here. That's the move that transpired from that. You can see we're down hard, but all we're doing is having a little mid-morning bounce, it looks like. This is nothing exciting yet. It could be exciting, because if we get it above this level right here, this tells us that maybe this was a major low today, and that's always a possibility. That's why when you're dealing with these folks, it's nothing about how much you make, it's how much you don't want to lose, because you got to focus on your losses. Winners think how much I can lose. Losers think how much I can win. That's why Vegas is so popular with all the slot machines, the sevens and all the other stuff that pops up there. Nowhere in that slot machine does it tell you I've taken in $1.2 million more than I've given out. Nowhere does it say you can't beat me long term. It's an impossibility. But you could play it. And if you're a lucky person, sometimes you'll get one of those jackpots. But that's all it is. It's a random event, and you don't want to spend much money at it because, folks, it just doesn't work that way. Looking at the Nasdaq here, I can see something that would be interesting, and that is we did have an ABCD pattern here. There's your ABCD pattern right there, and you can see that took you right down to this low where we are right now, and we're bouncing a little bit off of that. So that's what we're looking. It's not going to go straight down, and it might go straight up, but right now we'll wait and see how this thing unfolds here, okay? Now let's move on here. We got something else that I want to bring up to your attention. That is in the Japanese yen. It's one of my favorite things to trade on the old currency front, and we'll move up here. And I'll also cover soybeans here. Had several people ask about that. Yeah, see, there's our Japanese yen. My assumption is that we'll get down to possibly this level here for a buy. But right now, it's still in a rally mode, and still might not get there. We still got a chance to get there. That would be an ideal situation. We had a perfect sell the other day. If you remember, that was during the Fed time. That is when you had this big move right here. Guess what, folks? ABCD. You can't make that up, can you? Well, you can, but who knows? Now, we did take out the previous day's high here, so that should be moving, and it didn't. You see, it just stopped and backed off a little bit. That could be the sign that first bit, maybe it's not going to get down there, but we'll have to wait and see. Little by little, we'll dance in the middle and see what comes up at the very end. All right, now we're still rallying here in the old, what I need to do is I have to put my limit minder here to tell me if this gets up here, because that would be a 382 retracement. I want to watch that as a potential selling. And we'll take a break here. 877-927-6648.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, I want to make a comment here. This is the chart from 2009, March 5th. I'd been working with TFN for about 6 months. That's when I started in 07. But you can see the 3 drive to a bottom pattern right here. This was the Bradley date. Now, folks, this was a big prediction. I said the market was going to rally, best rally in 70 years, which was back to 1938, and it kept going up forever. So this is all I'm telling you. I'm looking at probability. Sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't. Now, the good part about this, no one really cared that I got this major bottom in here. Later on, there was a few people on the YouTube who was just coming out, talked about it, but people just don't remember this kind of stuff. Okay, here's what we're waiting for, folks. This one right here. That's the one you want to be watching. Your ABCD at the 382 after about a 6, 7, 8 day rally, then that's the one you want to be on. Okay, I bring that to your attention is because you don't know which ones are going to work, and you just have to put the orders in and do them one at a time. Okay, that's all you can do. All right, let's get back up here and take a look at the soybeans. Now, this is November soybeans. You can see we had these 2 big sell-offs. We had the big rallies. The rallies were almost exactly equal. You can see them right there. There was your rally right there. And what did it do here? Did exactly pretty much the same thing, just a little less this time. But now where we are here in the beans, we're down now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days from the high. Okay, so this is in a corrective mode. Now, what I'm watching, because I'm still friendly to the beans, I still think it has a chance. I'm going to do the same analysis here in beans that I did in crude oil. We had a pretty good strong trend up, all right? And so I marked that to there, and I want to see that my 382 comes right here at 31, okay? That's the 382 on the move right there. Now, on this move here, I don't think it made 382. Let's just double check. There's your, get this low in here like this, and there's your high right there. You see it missed the 382 here by about 2 cents. But this one, we have some things to work with. It's coming down. You see that nice little pullback right here? So all we're going to do now is we're going to draw the lines in. And there's your X point right back here. There's A right there. There's B and C and D, and there it is right there. Now, this is going to happen. Could happen today because it's only 7 cents away. It might happen tomorrow. It might not happen at all. But at that point, you have an A, B, C, D, and a 382 after this type of correction, so you know exactly where you are. So if you buy it at 1031, if it goes below 1029, okay, you got to risk, you got to risk a few bucks on this thing. So if you risk just 6 cents, that would be down in here. So you become a farmer for 6 cents. That's what you want to try to do. So watch these beans. they're having a big move down today, down 14 cents from this high. Right now, if this slows down, ideally, you won't get it until tomorrow, the next day. If it takes that long to get there, that's what you'd like to see, is to buy the beans at 10.31. All right? Now, I hope that helps. Now, the soybean meal, that's nothing you can do about that. That thing broke and the pattern failed. There's just no way you can look at you could look at rebuying it, but it's not a very good thing to do because the trend is down so much now that you don't want to be able to see that thing unfold that way. Let's get it up here to show you what I mean here, be a little more clear. Okay, this was such a perfect signal right here, folks. It had the 20-minute line, everything lined up. It didn't. Now, all it's doing now is you're coming down up to the next bit of support, and there's the 61% retracement right here. But with this big down move like this, it's pretty tough to be a buyer, especially when we're sitting right here, because it looks like it's going to have some more to the downside. Just looking at these ABCDs, this is not nearly as bullish as it looked here because it should have held. That's why we bought it there, stopped right there, and boy, there's where it is right now. So you don't want to mess with that one. Okay, so let's move over, and I think those are the main ones that I wanted to cover here. Now, we've had a question about another stock, and I'll bring that up, and that is Google. Hold on just a second here. And Google has a really bearish long-term picture chart. Let's just, if I can get it up here, it starts with a G, I think it used to. Oh, Larry, where is Google at? Come on. Wow, I can't believe it. I can't find Google. Something's wrong with my feed, folks. I can tell you that right now. There's something wrong. Shut the front door. Nope, I can't find Google. That's not good. Wow. Big problem in River City, folks. I don't know. That's not good. See, my feed is not coming in here. Oh, no, my God, it looks like I've lost data. Is that correct? Almost, not quite. All right, let's get this out of the way. We got the meal out of the way. We've already talked about the oil. We've talked about the Nasdaq. We talked about the things that I think are watching what we're watching here today. And that's it. And there's where we are right now. You get the Russell up here. You'll be able to see. There's the Russell. We had the big move down and the rally up, and now the pullback, doing the same type of thing that we had before. Now, the Russell, remember, folks, on the longer-term picture, the Russell came up and made that pattern here on the 28th, okay? Now, you can see where we are right now. It's come down quite a bit. We've taken out the lows. That's the first sign of some bullishness coming in. And now you can see just this one today has already made a 382 retracement. Watch this. I can see it there. Yeah, see it right here? There's your high right back here. All right, that's back on the Thursday. And you can see we went above the 382 by, oh, shucks, I didn't draw it out right. Just a minute. Sorry. Be with me just a second here. There it is, right there. There's your 382, came in right here. You can see it stopped, and now it went back above, went to the 50%. That it's only $7, but that's what's happened. Backed off to the 786, and here we are right now. Okay, so holding up relatively well, considering we have what the Dow is holding up relatively well. Also, I believe you can see it here. It's actually bouncing back. I think it's only down 300 and some right now, which is pretty good. But look where it's coming, folks. We're almost back to that. 382 again here in the Dow Jones right now as we're speaking here. We just hit it. So pay attention to that one. There's your high, there's your low, there's your Dow, there's your 382 right there. So watch it closely. We're back there where we were before. That's at 45,300. May or may not. All I can tell you is the risk there is really small because you have to risk about 70 points, $350. So keep a close eye. Now the bonds. The bonds, you see, have no friends, folks. And it's going to be a while before they have friends. Let's get this hourly chart up here. This thing is, look at this, how much lower it went than it was projected to go. See how these markets, there was your high, there was your low, there was your high, your low projected here, and boom. We came right down to the 61% retracement today. of that whole move going way back into July the 16th, August the 16th. So that, at that point here today, was an exact Gartley. There it is. So you've got to draw it from here because you'll get it messed up. But there it is right there. There's your Gartley pattern. So let's pay attention. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, just a moment. When I'm doing all of the work with all these things, I'm going to miss some things, okay? I try to give you the best of the ones that I can find as far as trades, but you got to remember, folks, that I'm only right about 60% of the time at best. The ones I like the best usually don't work, so I warn you that ahead of time. But always put your stops in, because over a period of time, you're going to beat the thing, because the positive expectation on these ABCD patterns is unequivocally there. The problem is sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, and you just have to put your stop in and not worry about it and move on to the next trade. I'm able to do that because I lose so often that because I win so often too, so I'm accustomed to doing both. But the one thing you don't want to do, one thing I'm not going to do, is I'm not going to tell you to sell something and 10 days later when it's 20% higher that, well, we got another excuse for it to go higher. No. When I tell you a price is not going to stop there, get out of Dodge. That's all you can do. And sometime we're going to be right, sometime we're going to be wrong. So that's all I ask is to, give me some of you guys have been with me forever, so that's not a problem. It's the newer people that wondering, wow, how can he sell gold at 335.83? Well, there was an ABCD there that didn't work. That's why. Now, you look at some of the other ones we did today, the stock indices worked very, very well, and they're still working right now. But it's all about probabilities, and it's all about the fact that you have to focus on how much you want to lose. Because all the stops that we use, with the exception of gold and crude oil, usually you have to risk about $1,000. Same thing with stock indices, but all the other things are around $500. And that's why they're fun to look at. And when they do work, they work great. And when they don't, you got to get out of Dodge and not worry about it. That's the bottom line when we're watching here. So I want you to live every day in an attitude of gratitude. We'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow. I believe we have Mike Moore as our guest. Later on, we're going to have Stan Harley, and then we're also going to have Jeff Huge of Alpha Insights. So that's it for today, and we'll see you on the flip side tomorrow.